We're live on both.
Awesome. Happy Friday. You guys, it is finally Friday and it's a long weekend. I'm so excited. Who's excited? This week, I don't know why, but I was just telling Joanne, like I have been behind on everything this week. I'm so excited for a 3-day weekend. Maybe some people don't get a 3-day weekend. I'm sorry if you don't, but we do, and I'm happy. All right, so it's Friday. That means it's time for Vinyl Friday. And we're a little bit ahead of this holiday, but we wanted to get on it so you guys had time to order stuff and get yourselves ready too. So we're not talking about Memorial Day. We're not talking about my birthday. We're not talking about Evie's birthday, which is coming up, and we have very fun plans for that. We are talking about, any guesses? Surely they can guess from those, hopefully.
Give them a few minutes to guess. Lots of people are still joining.
Awesome, thanks for joining us, and we will get some links and everything up. So
she's on commenting.
Oh, and Starla is commenting, so if you guys have questions, Starla's got a list of links that we're going to be talking about stuff today. She will get you answered. If we miss it, sometimes we miss them just the way they come through. We will go through after we're all done with the live and answer everybody. So, yeah, we love questions. If you have questions as we're going with this, let us know. They can be about anything.
Lots of guesses now for Father's Day.
Yay, Father's Day. Okay, so today's Vinyl Friday is all about Father's Day. And I wanted to show you some cute projects that we've made. We've got some videos of these going out. Some were from last year. But did you guys know you can put heat transfer on a wallet? You can. Joanne did also a video and it came out, was it yesterday? Your belt?
The day before.
Joanne's behind the camera, by the way.
Hi. I wave, but both hands are holding two different cameras. So.
Yes, we are live on Facebook and on Instagram. So welcome, everybody. Yeah, so you can put a heat transfer on anything that's leather. Like anything that's a natural fiber, you can put heat transfer on. So Joanne did it on a belt. It was really cute. She put a little message and then love some kids. You could do that. You could do handwriting. Like if your kid wrote a little message or you had a message, you could trace it in and put it on a wallet for them. So I thought that was fun. And this is just a Levi's brand wallet. I got it off Amazon. I think it was like $14. So clearance bins are great for blanks and stuff like that. Joanne made this little keychain last year with some permanent vinyl, super cute. I made this one with some Aura mask. So I cut the vinyl out like I normally would, but then we did the opposite and the Aura mask and then stenciled it in with paint. So that is a fun sign to do for Grandpa.
Somebody on Instagram had a question on what the iron was that you used on the wallet.
The wallet. Yes, the video for this. So on this we used a Dritz mini iron. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it in like at Walmart. Look in the fabric section. It's a seam iron. It's just a little tiny iron and it is perfect for things like this. This one's flat enough. You could have put it in a heat press with a pillow underneath, but that little iron is just handy sometimes when you just have a little something to do. So yeah, that is a Dritz mini iron. We don't sell them because you can get them lots of places. So check out your local craft store, Walmart, Amazon, and just look for a mini iron in the fabric section. What else was I going to say about that? Oh, it doesn't have to be Dritz. There's a few brands. So yeah, Dritz is the one we have. Joanne made this cute shirt with pattern, that camel pattern. You could make your dad a hat. Of course, we're in Idaho, so we had to have an Idaho hat. And then this little guy, like, sometimes dads have everything and you have no idea what to get him. So maybe your kid could sport a shirt that's honoring your dad or your grandpa or your mom or whoever. We're talking about Father's Day today, so I was like racking my brain for something. Dads are kind of hard, especially when you're making stuff for them. So I was thinking about my dad and what he would like, and I came up with this shirt we were gonna do today. And I thought it would be cute if you had your kids wear a shirt like this on Father's Day and how much they would love that. Like my dad would just love this. So we are going to use printable heat transfer. So this picture is heat transfer. And I'm going to show you how I did that. We've got some pattern in there. We've got some Easyweed in there. So we're going to get on that. Do we have any other questions?
Not yet.
Okay.
A lot of people agree. Dads are kind of hard.
Dads are hard. So if you guys have good ideas, leave them below. If you guys have had a fun thing you've made for your dad, I didn't have Starla made this really cool flashlight holder. We had a video of that last week, so scroll through, and it was really cool. Like, dads always have flashlights, so I thought that was cute. And then a picture of her and her dad, which I thought was sweet. Like, if you can personalize it in any way, I think that's awesome. So if you guys have good ideas that you've done, show us. We'd love to see what you guys have done. You can't post a picture on this while we're live, but you can post a picture after we're done being live. So, or if you just want to comment what you've made, we'd love to see it.
For the printable, do you need a special printer?
You need an InkJet printer, not a laser. InkJet is what a lot of printers are. It's very common. So we just have a little, this is the printer we're using. And we'll get into all this, but it was just a regular, like, not very expensive printer. And I'm going to show you some tips on how to get your prints a little bit better. So let's start with the picture. And I want to show you a blank sheet of how the printable HTV comes. And you guys, this stuff is cheap. It's like $1. It's under $2. I am so bad at knowing prices. I should know prices, but it's under $2 a sheet. What'd you say?
I don't remember either.
Oh, okay. I know when I was ordering it, I was like, oh, this is so cheap. So order a couple sheets and plan on ruining one. I know that sounds awful to say, but if you overplan, especially with your first learning with it, you're probably going to make some mistakes, and that's okay. Just get familiar with your printer, get familiar with your cutter. And it's, I mean, I don't want to say, oh, just waste a whole bunch, but plan on wasting one sheet to try it, just in case.
$1.49.
$1.49, yay, thank you. Yeah, so, and you can fit quite a few pictures. You can see on mine, I could have fit some more on there. Depending on what machine you're using, I set mine up in a silhouette. If you have a Cricut, it's a little bit different, but you want to save room for your registration marks. So that is going to take up some of the room on this. If you're using a mat to put it through your cutter, you can waste a little less. But anyway, so you do have to watch out for these registration marks. You don't want to put your picture past those, or it's not going to cut it. So I just dropped this. We're going to get up close and personal to my computer here. I've got my pictures open, and I'm just going to take a picture and drag it right into my program. So I went to my documents, found a picture, and just dropped it into my program. That's my cute boy. And then from here you can make it the size you need. And for the pictures I used, I cropped it. So to do that, let's zoom in really close so you guys can see. How cute is that boy? Okay. It's not very often we get him to smile good for pictures. Okay, so I'm in Silhouette Studio. I'm gonna go over to my drawing tool, and I'm gonna choose the square, and I chose the rounded corners on the square, and you can just draw a square over what you want cropped. So adjust it to where you want, and then select both of them. So I'm dragging across both of them, so they're both selected. And then I'm gonna go up here to Object, whoops, touch screen. Modify and crop. And that's gonna crop down my picture to whatever you want. So you guys can make it whatever size you want. In Cricut, it's a little bit different. You upload your image to Cricut and then manipulate it from there. So either way, but that's what I did to get these cute little pictures of my niece and my dad. And I didn't ask them if I could use their picture for this video. So hopefully, if you guys are watching, hopefully it's okay. But I did want to show you. So I printed these out on an InkJet printer. So, okay, let's set this up. So in Silhouette Studio, you'll want to choose your format. So I'm up here on the page setup, and I'm going to choose current printer, and that's going to make it an 8.5 by 11. That's going to make my mat over here an 8.5 by 11. And then I want to turn on my registration marks. So I'm right here, style, I'm using a Cameo, so I'm going to turn those on. And like I said, this is a little different in Cricut. You do the print then cut settings for that. So these little registration marks are going to print on my page, so then when I put it through my machine, it will know where to read those marks at. So then I can drag my pictures in here, put them where you want. I could have filled this page up, and I do recommend filling it up if you want to print some extra things, just so you don't waste. But then, so then you'll print this out, you'll select print, and you'll print this out. Now, this is what I want to show you. On your printer, you want to play with your settings a little bit. So, this is my bad one. We're going to get really close to this one. So see right here, there's a line going up his face and going up his pants. And the print is just a little weird. So this is just with normal paper and normal print quality. I bumped mine up. If I go into preferences, and your printer is going to be a little bit different, but I go into preferences on my printer, and I still do plain paper, but I select print quality as best. And that's going to give it a little more ink, and you can see that line up his shorts and up his face is gone, and it's just a little bit of a better print. I always do this for pictures, and maybe it's just my printer. We've had other customers that have this problem too. So just bump up that print quality to best and see if it makes a difference. If you're not having a problem with the regular, don't change anything, just leave it. Because sometimes if you put up the best print quality, it'll put out a lot of ink, and that's not necessarily great either. So just play with your printer and get to know it. And then after I print it out, I am going to send it to my Cameo. So something else I forgot to talk about. When you put it in your printer, this is the back. It's got the grid line. You can very easily tell that this is the back. So on the printer up here, and remember you want to use an InkJet printer, not a laser. A laser uses heat. This is heat. It's going to make a mess and ruin your printer. So for this one, it feeds this way. Your printer might be different. So this feeds it in this way and then rolls it up and bumps it out here. So if we were to put it in this way, it's going to print on the back, and we don't want that. So get to know your printer and make sure you know which way to load it in, so you know which way you're printing on. Do we have any questions so far?
Not right now.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure you leave us questions if you've got questions about any of this.
And this part, I know I'm just demonstrating, or I'm just talking about mostly. I'm not actually printing stuff out, but I am going to, we're actually going to heat press it on, so we are going to actually do something. Okay, so we've got that printed out. And then you'll put it in your machine to cut it. So in your machine, use the normal settings you use for vinyl, and you will put it into your machine just like this, whether you use a mat. I use a Silhouette Cameo, and I never use a mat. Here, let's sneak Starla's guy for a second. We're gonna go to Starla's station. Hi Starla, we're in your station. Oh, and I'm losing her things for her. Okay, so in your Cameo, you would put it in just like this. And then this has a little eye that's going to read those registration marks, and it will know where to cut around your picture. So you do need to turn on the cut lines on your picture, and I'll show you how to do that. So if you just, let me go back to design. Whoops. If you were just to drop your picture in, let me make this guy smaller. If I were just to drop that in and push send, you see there's no red around the picture. So it's not going to cut because it has no idea where to cut. So you do have to select your picture and then go over here and turn on your cut lines. And I imagine you have to do that in Cricut as well?
When you upload it,
it'll,
way that it's uploaded.
Okay. It'll show your cut lines.
Yeah.
So you do want to make sure you turn on your cut lines or it's not going to print anything.
Kelly has a question. Do you mirror for light or dark?
Okay, so with our heat transfer, you do not mirror this image. You keep it how it is. And I know that's opposite of all the rest of the heat transfer vinyl that you're gonna use with this, but with the printable HTV, ours is for light and dark, so you don't need a separate product. And I assume Starla will put a link up for our heat transfer, but you do not mirror it, and it is for both. So, okay. So we've got that cut out. I also cut out, so I've got that one cut. I also cut this little saying, "There is nobody like my grandpa." The font for this is called Bakery, and it is from dafont.com. And then we have our patterned, which I want to show you guys that too. Our pattern heat transfer vinyl, and then the gold heart we're going to put around. Okay, you guys are going to die when you see how much vinyl is wasted on that. But I'm going to show you a trick to not waste vinyl. So, all right, let's get into that. I'm going to put my computer away. So we've got some, okay. So I'm going to save that guy, save this guy.
Is it washable?
It is very washable. You can wash it. I recommend washing it inside out on delicate setting. Don't use bleach because it'll bleach it out. But yeah, and you can dry it on low or hang to dry. But yeah, it's very washable. So as long as it is applied correctly, which that's what we're going to focus on here in just a minute, is getting it applied correctly. So this is our pattern. Our patterns are awesome. Do you guys know why our patterns are awesome? Okay, so most patterns that you buy, well, I should say some patterns you buy, you only get the pattern part. You don't get this clear carrier sheet. You have to buy that extra and then apply it yourself. Ours is already applied. So this is just like a sheet of Easyweed. So that's how all our patterns come. So with our pattern, you want to cut it on this side. So you do need to mirror your image on the pattern one. So let me weed this guy out and show you what I'm talking about. So we've reversed our image. This is a heart, so it doesn't really matter. But you peel it just like you would Easyweed, glitter, whatever you're using. So something else you want to make sure to be careful on ours, and I should have weeded that differently. I am going to waste a little bit on this because I had my blocks around it. So something you want to be careful of is we put the name of the pattern over here. You don't want to cut into that. So when you're loading it into your machine, be careful to miss that part, especially when you're loading it upside down and you can't see that. Just be aware of where that is so you don't cut into it. So we've got this part. This is just a simple heart from, I believe it was Echo Park in the Silhouette store. You could draw a heart. You could get whatever heart you want. So we've got that piece ready. Oh, and then I was going to show you the gold and how to not waste so much. So with this, I wanted that gold outline. So I just did a double offset in the Silhouette to get those lines. And the color I'm using is the Vegas Gold for this one. I like the Vegas Gold and the Siser Easyweed because it's a little duller than that shiny gold. So if you want something that's showy, but maybe not so showy. Okay, this is where we're gonna do some tricky scissor work. And we're gonna end up with 2 hearts. If we had really tricky scissor work, we could end up with 3 hearts. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so this is actually, I don't know if you guys can see this. I've got my outer heart, I've got a cut line right here, and I've also got a cut line right here. So I'm just gonna take out that middle cut line. And this is where you could have 3, but I'm not. Sometimes you have to sacrifice for time and sanity. And we're not gonna waste that much. So now I'm gonna take my knife, or you could take your scissors, and I'm just gonna cut around this in that cavity that we took out. And then I'll have a big fat heart for a different shirt. So we're gonna separate that. And then I can have my outline for this shirt.
So how many out there save every little teeny piece scrap of vinyl? Just give us a thumbs up or a heart.
This is a debate we have all the time.
Yeah.
I save nothing.
Some people save every little teeny corner.
And I also like, I do waste vinyl, but if I can use, like if I'm wasting it to be able to line it up easier or like just have a big square, it's worth my sanity. But some people like nestle all their letters together and then have to spread them out, and I don't have that much patience or sanity. Okay, so now we have our outer heart we can apply, and we have a cute inner heart. So you can save that. I would save that. I would not waste that much time. So there's that. Okay, so let's get started on applying. So you may have noticed we have 3 different materials. We have our pattern, which has 1 temperature. We have the Easyweed, which has 1 temperature. We have, oh, I'm going to use those ones.
Somebody said, could you make the second cut in silhouette using, cutting through the carrier? You could. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, just change your settings and yeah, then you have a full sheet that you're not weeding out. That's a good idea. So most, like the pattern and the Easyweed, 305 for 10 to 15 seconds is what they like. This Printable HTV, 375. It wants it hot. So it gets a little tricky because we don't want to overheat our Easyweed and our pattern. That can cause damage. That can make the adhesive seep out and leave a ring around it. So you want to make sure to not damage that, but it gets tricky with using such big differences in temperature. So I'm going to show you some tricks. We have got our little shirt here from Hobby Lobby. I love Hobby Lobby. I got to go back there yesterday for work. It was funny. I was on my way to work and they're like, wait, I need something. So I got to go back. Okay, I'm gonna pre-press this. We wanna make sure there's no moisture, no wrinkles. So I have this heat press set on it's a 347 right now. So I'm kind of going between 375 and 305. I don't want to get it too low in temperature for that. A couple questions for people just joining. What are you making?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to make a Father's Day shirt, but it's not for my dad. I'm making a Father's Day shirt that your kid or your grandkid could wear and just make Grandpa's Day or Dad's Day. Earlier we were talking about how hard it is to shop for men in general. And I feel like men like really expensive toys. Of course, here I am with the heat press, and so I guess girls do too. But men are typically hard to shop for. They usually just go buy what they want themselves. Generally not into clothes. So we did show a bunch of examples of stuff for Father's Day. You could make him a coffee mug. You could make him a wallet, a keychain. Or you could make your kids a shirt to wear for your dad or grandpa. I'm going to put this guy in here. Get those seams really well. So right now I'm just pre-pressing, getting out any moisture. Okay. And we are using, if you're just joining us, we are using Easyweed along with InkJet Printable. Okay. Here we go. Guys, I've done this before, but I didn't test this one out and I have a few layers. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous. But we're gonna do it, we're fine. We know how to do this. So I'm gonna find my center of my shirt. And I am going to iron a line into it to help me line things up. So if you guys have some fun stuff you've made for your dads, your grandpas, your husbands for Father's Day, let us know. We would love to hear your fun creations.
Yeah, and Starla just commented, let's see the hearts if you're going to try this fun InkJet printable HCV.
Yeah, let's see some hearts. All right. Oh, and I forgot. Who wants a coupon? You guys, I forget everything. Okay. If you guys need 15% off, if you guys need to go buy some supplies, probably a little too late to get it before Memorial Day, but if you need it before Father's Day, you'll definitely get it before Father's Day. We're super early. But Dad is the best. That is the coupon code that will get you 15% off of everything. Not just heat transfer, adhesive, pattern, anything you need. Okay, so we've got our line in here. The first layer I'm gonna do, oh, guys, look what I just did. Okay, be really careful with your carrier sheet. This was laying underneath that and it just took off my ink. So I have another one, it's fine. But be careful when you're crafting. That's why I say always have an extra piece because you don't know what's gonna happen. And I was being careless.
What brand of press is this?
This is the Siser Red Clam Press. It is my favorite. It has a digital timer. It has a digital readout.
And you can find it over at expressionsvinyl.com.
Yes, you can. And you could use a coupon for 15% off.
15% off. Go buy one now.
So they definitely are an investment. If you're doing 1 or 2 shirts every 6 months, honestly, it's not worth it. But if you're doing a lot of shirts and you're doing it as a business, it is a lifesaver. So this little part, I'm just gonna cut that off because I don't want it to heat transfer onto my shirt. So that little part where our picture hit. And did you guys see me fold this in half? I folded it in half. And then I'm just gonna line it up with the line on my shirt that we folded.
And you can fold your heat transfer. It's not gonna...
Yeah, it's not gonna ruin it. It'll live. It'll be just fine. Make sure how far I am to the collar. Okay, I'm not gonna use a pillow. I do have a few, I'm gonna move this up a little bit. I do have a few little seams in here, but I don't think, I better use a pillow. Okay, I wasn't going to, but I better. So I gotta adjust this. I'm nervous for those seams. I want it to lay nice and flat, especially with that printable. So I'm gonna use a pillow for those seams to sink into. Make sure you get good pressure on there. Your heat press is adjusted correctly. You can also use this stuff with a home iron. You don't have to have a heat press. Okay, this is our first layer. Since this is our first layer, it's going to get hit again and again with heat. So this one, I'm only gonna press it for like 2 seconds, just enough to get it tacked down. I would not wanna wash it after 2 seconds, but it's enough to get it tacked down and get us going. So it's gonna get more heat as our layers go. So just hit that really quick. And then carefully peel off my carrier sheet and make sure that it's all sticking down. And it is. Okay. Now we have our outer heart. We want to lay carefully on there. And it is a little floppy now that we took out the inside, but you can still get it where you need it. Okay. And then I'm going to use this multi-use paper because this, my big heart, doesn't have any protection on it. It doesn't have that clear carrier sheet on it. So I'm just gonna use that to protect it from my heat. And again, this one, I'm just gonna press for 2 seconds. So because we pressed that one just for 2 seconds, now our heart has had 4 seconds of heat. Our big solid heart. Okay, so I'm gonna carefully peel that off. And now we've got our wording, which, I wanna get it in the right spot with our picture, okay. And again, I am just gonna hit this for another 2 seconds. So our solid heart now will have 6 seconds, our outer heart will have 4 seconds, and our lettering will only have 2 seconds. Now, heat transfer is not that finicky, but you wanna be really careful. Like, You don't have to have it exactly 10 seconds, but you don't want to do it for like a full minute. Okay, here we go with the heat transfer. You guys, which picture should I use? I couldn't decide. Should I use one of just my dad, or should I use the one of them together? These two are funny. They really are best buds. They are hilarious. They dance with each other in the middle of Disney World. They're just cute.
Quick question on this. Can it be used on both light and dark?
Yes, ours can be used on both light and dark, and you don't mirror this one when you're putting your image on. You don't have to mirror it.
Looks like the general consensus right now is together.
Together, okay. So I'm gonna peel this off of my sheet. Now keep this in mind when you're cutting like letters and stuff, or when you're picking your image, you wanna do a fairly solid image because you have to place it right on. You saw what happened when we put the clear carrier sheet over the picture. It wasn't great. It peeled off our ink. So you wanna do a fairly solid thing. This is the part I'm so nervous about. Okay. Definitely need something over the top of that.
Shiny side down.
Shiny side down. That is important too. Shiny side down. Multi-use paper, like if you're doing Easyweed or glitter or something, it doesn't really matter. But this, you want to make sure you get shiny side down. Okay, so for this, we need to set everything. So I'm going to do this for I'm going to do it for 12 seconds. It's not going to ruin our Easyweed, but it is going to get everything tacked down for the full time. So here we go. Is anybody else nervous? I don't know why I'm so nervous.
Just a quick question on the picture. What did you use to, someone's just joining late, what did you use?
I used our Printable HTV to print this out. I'm gonna let this go for a couple seconds longer because I forgot. I lowered the temp, huh?
It was only set to 8.
8? Okay, I'm gonna do it again. Because this wants 375. The Printable heat transfers best at 375. I've only got it at 341. So I'm gonna do it for a little bit longer. Okay, I think we're good. Here is our test. Yay! It's beautiful. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. And I am confident that those are all on there really good. So can you guys imagine if you showed up, if your grandpa saw this, like, wouldn't that just melt his heart? I think it will melt my dad's heart. So anyway, that is our fun Vinyl Friday today. What did you guys think? And like, oh, it's still pretty warm, but it's not that thick. Like with all these different layers, it's really not that thick. The Printable HTV is a really thin product. You cut it with your cutters just like you would normal vinyl. I use the same vinyl settings, so. But you don't mirror.
Yeah, don't mirror.
Don't mirror.
Another question about what printer?
You want to use an InkJet printer. You don't need a fancy one. You don't need a photo one. Just an InkJet printer, but you might want to adjust your settings a little bit. Do not use laser. Laser has heat. It's going to activate the glue in your Printable HTV and it's going to ruin things. So InkJet is the ticket.
That's the printer we use. It's just an HP Envy.
Do you remember how much that was by chance? I don't think it was that expensive.
$50 maybe?
Yeah, it wasn't bad and it prints great. You might want to play with your printer settings. Like I can go into mine and choose best or photo or whatever. Play with those and see because we still have, if you missed this on the earlier one, this picture of my dad, see how it has a line through? This was just normal settings. And then I upped it to the best or photo and it took those lines out and just made it for a better picture. So get to know your printer. I said this before, plan on wasting at least one sheet of this if you're new to it, just to get familiar with it, just to get started with it. You know, you want to be familiar with your printer and know which way to load it in. Just some different things. So, and it's $1.49. It's cheap. So how cute. You could make like a best friend shirt. You could do all sorts of stuff.
What cut setting do you use?
I use the normal one for vinyl. So on my Silhouette Cameo, I use my blade at a 2, my speed at a 5, and then my blade, or my thickness at like, depending on how new, if my blade is brand new, I'll do it at a 5. If it's duller and or I've cut glitter, probably like a 7 or an 8. Cricut, use the vinyl setting. Works great.
And where did you buy it at?
Buy which one?
The heat transfer. Printable.
At expressionsvinyl.com. Look under Printable on the side, or we have a link in this as well. It's $1.49 a sheet. It's super fun. You could do all sorts of things with that. If you are a drawer, you could draw your images or whatever, or if you had handwriting, like you can just do so many different things and then print it out. So it's not just for pictures. You can do it. If you had a scenery picture you wanted to put on a shirt, that would be super fun. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Is this a good substitute for a Father's Day gift? I know I'm stretching it, but I think it would be fun. What do you think? This and maybe a pack of Diet Coke? Like your little girl showing up in this and a pack of Diet Coke. I think Grandpa would be so happy on Father's Day.
For that Grandpa.
I know, this yes, this Grandpa would be super happy. Maybe other grandpas don't like Diet Coke, but yeah, so we have these fun little examples we've done. We've done videos of these throughout the week. This is heat transfer on leather. Yes, you can do it. There's a video of Joanne putting on a belt. Like on the inside, you could do a special little message on a dad's belt. You can make him a classic keychain. You could make him a coffee mug and put, you know, #1 dad, #1 grandpa, whatever. Shirts, hats, all sorts of fun ideas for Father's Day. Do we have people sharing what they're doing for Father's Day?
There's been a few.
Done. Awesome. Cool. Well, I know I talked super fast for that. What did I forget?
I think you got everything. Just really quick again, washing.
Washing.
Wash and
So
what do you do to wash?
wash this inside out. Let your ink sit for at least 24 hours. Let that sit and make sure it's good before you wash it or get it wet. Wash it inside out on cold and on gentle, and it'll be just fine. We recommend hang drying. I've thrown mine in the dryer. I don't hang. Yeah, throw it in the dryer on really low. It'll be fine.
And can you put regular vinyl over the top of the printed?
Yes, you can. You can. One thing I don't want to recommend is glitter, just because the thickness and this stuff is so thin. You can do it with the pillow. We're going to try some glitter stuff. We're going to try it out. Glitter has, it carries it with the carrier sheet, and on this printable, it's embedded it into it before. So we need to do some testing. Glitter's the only one I would be leery of, but I think you could make it work. Just be a little tricky about it.
We've done it with Easyweed over the top.
Yeah, Easyweed's great. Easyweed you can totally do over the top or underneath. So Easyweed has about the same thickness as that printed, so I'm not worried about that one. Next week, I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend, first of all. And then next week, come join us. We have Newsday Tuesday, every Tuesday. We do giveaways if you haven't checked that out. And Wednesday, it's going to be Will It Stick Wednesday with Starla, and she's putting vinyl on a cooler. That is a question we get all the time throughout the summer. So she's going to do that, show you some tips and tricks, and see what coolers work best.
And it'll be an afternoon on Wednesday.
Yes, thank you. It will. I forgot about that. We've got some other stuff going on Wednesday, and we're going to try it out on a Wednesday afternoon. So if you haven't normally, like if you can't normally join us in the morning, that one is going to be Wednesday afternoon. Usually we do our lives at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So, but that one will be Wednesday afternoon. So tune in for that because it's going to be cool. Starla always does crazy cool things. So that'll be fun. Don't forget about the coupon code throughout the weekend. If you need to stock up on some vinyl, if you need a heat press, if you need a machine, if you need blades, expressionsvinyl.com, use the coupon code DADSTheBest. Did I forget anything?
And the size of the printable, does it only come in?
8.5 by 11.
Yeah.
Just to fit in a printer. So it's 8.5 by 11. If you wanted to hand cut and not use registration marks, you could get a little bit more out of it. Or if you're just using like a really square image, you don't need to put it through your machine, just hand cut it and then peel it off of that. So it's just like vinyl. You peel it off of the sheet, and it's like heat transfer. the adhesive's there, but it's not sticky until you apply the heat with your iron or your heat press or whatever. So yeah, whatever you're doing. So I hope you guys have a good weekend. Thanks for joining us today. Happy Father's Day. I know we're super early on this. Well, not really super early. We just want you guys to get ready, get going on it. So I'm always late, so any early reminder is very helpful to me. Yeah, I think that covers it. We got all our links in. Thanks for commenting, Starla, and thanks for filming, Joanne. Have a great weekend, guys.